I have found an extremely unnerving and underrated manga that you might want to read but may have never heard of, and it is called I Want to Hold Ayano-kun So Badly I Could Die. Yes, it is the name doesn't do it justice. It's a long one, but basically this manga series is about a girl named Yuri who becomes obsessed with one of her classmates, Ayano, and is kind of in her head about wanting to date this guy because it's kind of, it's her first interaction with a boy. And she doesn't really have a whole lot of faith in herself. At first, it seems that she'll ever have a boyfriend, especially. But then just kind of after a couple of weeks of knowing him, they start dating. And it's, she's just ecstatic. She thinks like as long as she has him, everything in her life is complete and perfect. And that's the only value she has, which is very, very unhealthy for any of us that have ever been in a relationship like that. So, it seems like everything's going great for Yuri, but then bam! Ayano dies in traffic, and Yuri thinks, well, my life's never gonna be worth anything without this guy I was dating for like literally 2 weeks, so I might as well die too. But as she's in the act of trying to join Ayano in the afterlife, Ayano comes out of nowhere, just out of the afterlife butthole, and stops her from doing this act and says, hey, you're crazy, you need to live, blah, blah, blah. And then they start having a ghost in person relationship in which she'll like talk to him even at school and pretend she's on the phone with somebody, and they'll just put a pillow on him and she can cuddle him like a pillow. It's very, very strange, but it's honestly written very well, because the thing is that you're not really sure at first who to root for, because they kind of start making it feel like maybe Ayano's getting a taste of like power of being able to possess people, because Yuri's like, hey, can you go into my body? And he does, and it's this very, very uncomfortable panel in the manga where he's like literally just like, like just squirming inside of her, and he's like breaking apart as he like goes into her abdomen. It's a lot for this manga, because this manga is a romantic manga, but it kind of has very strong horror undertones, which I don't think you expect at first, because I went into reading this blind. And it's very much illustrated. The art style's like a shoujo, kind of. And so it's very misleading. And it makes you just kind of, your thoughts go somewhere else the whole time. You're like, this is just gonna be cute, Toradora kind of vibe. And then you realize that Ayano starts getting power hungry for possessing people around Yuri, and just kind of wants to eventually take her to the afterworld with him. And he starts developing this other persona. I think that they literally just called Black Ayano, which probably not the greatest name, but it's what they had. And Yuri, the manga at its core is basically Yuri kind of discovering their self-worth, I think, detached from this person she very quickly fell in love with, because it was her first relationship, and foolishly thought that was the only person that would ever love her, of course, as first relationships sadly tend to go pretty often. And she ends up befriending like one of Ayano's best friends, who's kind of like a horror enthusiast, and they I think are kind of just investigating Black Ayano and trying to help Yuri realize like, hey, you're gonna, Ayano might be crazy. This might not really be the Ayano used to know, because there's even scenes which are kind of foreshadowing in a way where Ayano will just be in ghost form talking to Yuri in school and being like, oh, you don't don't really know who I am. You don't know the kind of guy I am. I'm like, bro, you're like 13. What do you mean? You're not that deep. It's not that deep. And he's just like acting like, maybe maybe I was bad all along. And it's like, okay, he's literally telling you he is evil. He's telling you he's power hungry and power crazed, and now he's a demon that could possess people, and you're all right with that. All right, cool. Well, and such is pretty much what goes on with I want to hold Aono-kun so badly I could die. It is honestly, I will say, like, the art style isn't my favorite because I'm not a huge shoujo fan at my core, but I do think the writing is actually really unexpectedly good, very misleading to a point where kind of you're not really sure where it's gonna go from chapter to chapter, volume to volume. And I would highly recommend it to any like romance fan or horror fan or just like pretty much any general manga reader that in general. So yeah, give this manga a read. Let me know what you think. If you have any horror manga especially or weird romance ones, drop them in the comments and let me know. I would love to keep reading these kind of underrated ones. And yeah, until next time, weebs, I'll catch you later, okay? Stay safe. Bye.